Welcome to the beginning of another church year. Over the next several weeks, our scripture and our curriculum for the life of our church will be talking about the word sanctuary. What it is, how we imagine it, how we find it, and how we inhabit it. Who we invite into our sanctuaries, and what it means when we do. We're going to be thinking metaphorically, and we're going to use our imaginations, and there will be ways for all of us to imagine our way home to whatever sanctuary each of us are needing for the living of these days. We have special crafts and activities for our young people that are going to be rolling out. We have plans for us older young people too, and together we're going to listen for how God invites us again and again through the prophets and the Gospels and even the pastors of Scripture to take refuge in God's care and find a place, our sanctuary in the world. Today we gather around tables. We enjoy a bounty of food that Debbie has prepared for us, and today we gather all as one people, still technically in the season of summer, but very much with our feet busy in fall's rhythms. Today we begin this new church year. The rain signals a change, washing our city and many of us this morning. And many of you have begun a new school year. And we gather today as many people with many needs, some of us laughing, some of us crying, some of us ready for the good, and some of us feeling like all we do is take the bad. And these are indeed the facts of life. They are also the life of the church. And in the life of the church, Kevin, thank you for that. In the life of the church, we often say that in our living and in our dying, we belong to God. I've been saying this a lot recently. I even translated it to a friend this week whose father-in-law died at the age of 92 as saying, that translates roughly as, we are in control of neither the day we are born nor the day we are dead, so stop worrying about them and start worrying about how you are living today. Today's worries are for today. In the lesson we heard this morning from the prophet Jeremiah, God gives Jeremiah instructions to go to an artist's studio. This is a wonderful invitation that we do not get many times in Scripture. Maybe some of you have been or are going down to the Armory show this weekend, or maybe you have tickets for the Affordable Art Fair in a few weeks. Maybe some of you are working on a new play or practicing an old piece of music. Artist studios are sanctuaries. In the book of Jeremiah, we hear how God tells Jeremiah to go and watch the potter work in her studio. This is a sacred space to that potter. And Jeremiah goes. And God says to Jeremiah, go and watch her sit at her wheel as the clay dissolves from one form to another. Go watch the mess of creation, God says. Now, this isn't Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, nor is this a ghost story. This is a story of how God, the Creator, creates all of us from dust mixed with water that becomes the clay of the earth, the sticky stuff. And that clay, when wet, which is to say, alive, when it is so mostly water, as is each of our living bodies, that clay is malleable. It can take many forms. If you touch it, it's seductive. You want to touch more of it. It feels good in our hands, like flesh feels good in our hands. It's nice to touch and to hold. You can form it up. And sometimes it collapses under the weight, or nothing at all. We can shape that clay and indeed our lives into whatever form feels true and right, and it can be beautiful. At the same time, that clay and indeed our lives are fragile, and they can fold in on themselves and collapse so easily. And yet that same clay, and indeed our same lives, may be reworked into another vessel, into another being, into another shape, a better shape. For any of you who ever sat at a potter's wheel or have played with Play-Doh, or sat face to face with a blank canvas or a piece of paper or an open Word document. For any of you who ever took a first step as a child or as an adult, went back to school or changed careers or ended a relationship. For any of you who have ever felt like you're falling apart, today's scripture is for you. We are the clay, God reminds us. And even now we are being formed into something new that is being formed of us even when we feel like we're folding into a heap of mud. The potter's wheel, of course, is an image of a spinning earth. With no beginning or ending, it spins and spins and spins. And it is a place where the work is about being in the center. It's about being in the center of the wheel where the clay is formed. At the center of the wheel, the clay finds its balance. And the form is built strong and even steady and reliable and beautiful. And if you veer too far, if the clay gets too far off center, it'll get wonky and wobble and fall over. And you have to push it back towards the center. And if you get too far off of your center, you're going to feel wonky and you're going to wobble. You may fall over. And you're going to go to a chiropractor or a physical therapist who's going to put you back together and help you find your center. You're going to come to yoga. You're going to meditate. You're going to say, how do I find myself in all of this spinning, unending spinning? The answer is the center. And yet, every time we get even slightly off balance, which for all of us who ever learned to walk, I dare say is all of us, you may collapse. And even in what looks like that ending, there is a new beginning from old material already envisioned. A new beginning already emerging from that ancient clay. That clay that once we thought we knew what we were doing with, but that said, nope, you have no idea, I'm just clay. And then it gets reshaped again, re-envisioned. That's what God says to Jeremiah, go and see, and then tell all my people. God the potter invites us to an open studio, pulls us back to our center, and invites us to begin again and again every day. And this is what we do in worship. It's what we do around tables at brunch. Worship is a place where we put ourselves, all of ourselves, back into center and begin again to reform the beauty of who we are while remembering whose we are. An artist's studio is a sanctuary with children's noises. And they're excited, and Allie, she's fine. She's fine, she's totally fine. A sanctuary is an artist's studio. It's a place where we may fall apart, and also where we may come back together. And may this image of a sanctuary, of a dance studio, of a rehearsal room, of a concert hall, may this be a place for you. And may together we make it, may we make it so for everyone. When you leave here today, may you be a more beautiful, more expressive, more fully you version of you than the vessel that came in this morning. May you leave a little bit stronger here for how the potter is shaping you around these tables of clay. And as you go out into the week ahead, look at the beautiful clay that is each other. Look in each other's eyes and see the clay. See that which is changeable and malleable, that which is going to change, not that which is fixed. And be people of faith. Imagine what that clay is going to be for them and for you. Look for the raw materials that the artist looks for. Look for the building blocks, the blank page or canvas, and take a breath or close your eyes, let your mind's eyes wander, and just imagine. What shape may you take when you take the good and you take the bad, and you reform, and you reshape, and you reimagine, and you recenter? In the book of Jeremiah, God gives us an invitation to imagine ourselves as raw material, not finished products, not glazed things that you buy in a store. Raw material from the earth itself. Each of us is being worked and made and shaped into the masterpieces each of us were created to be. Each of us created in the image of God, called beloved, fired from clay into perfection, heirs of salvation, all of us.